Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
But I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Nightborn.
Nightborn.
A Finnish-British folk horror film from writer-director Hanna Bergholm.
Yeah, the writer-director of The Hatching.
Yes, a Finnish body horror film about abusive influencer moms.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to that movie, but that's essentially what the movie's about.
Yeah. Girl gives birth to a giant chicken monster.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild movie. Highly recommend Hatching.
Yes.
Cannot recommend it enough. This movie is comparatively a more normal movie, but I say comparatively because it's still a pretty weird movie.
It's still a dark fantasy movie. Mm-hmm. You know, something supernatural does fucking happen.
Yep. It is a movie about a couple, Saga and John. Saga is a Finnish woman.
Yeah.
And John is a British man.
He's so British, he's Ron Weasley.
Yes, he is Rupert Grint from Harry Potter fame. And the reason why I bring up that one is Finnish and one is British is because their cultural differences become a plot point.
Their cultural differences are a main fucking theme of the story.
100%.
Yeah.
It becomes an issue in this movie. In particular, John's more, for lack of a better way of putting it, colonialist mindset becomes a problem in this movie. But ultimately, the movie is about this couple moving into Saga's grandmother's home that she used to visit when she was a child, and she has like almost like fairy tale like memories of, like very fond memories, frolicking in the woods.
Yeah.
And they're planning to start a family in this home. So they want to have kids. And have a kid they do. They have a little boy, but something is weird about this boy. Something is not quite right. Born a little too big for a normal newborn.
He's a little too hairy.
He's a little too hairy, and he seems utterly unpleasable. Like, this is a baby that like can't handle wearing clothes. It doesn't want to eat. It's very vicious at times.
Yeah.
It growls. There's something
it grows
off.
teeth very quickly.
There's something off about this baby. Like the first time it teethes, it like almost bites her nipple off.
Yeah.
Fucking gnarly. So right away, we're dealing with some motherhood trauma.
Oh yeah,
body horror
motherhood trauma
things.
movie. Probably one of the best ones since The Babadook.
I would have to agree, actually.
Yeah.
It's about the experience of having a child for the first time and going through all the horrors of motherhood.
Yeah, including postpartum depression.
Yes, 100%. That's a big part of the movie.
Yeah, it's a big part of the movie.
You know, she feels like she's failed as a mother because of everything that's going on with the child. Ultimately, it's just the child is born this way. You can imagine it being like a birth defect, right?
Yeah.
It's like a parent who has like an autistic child and then like thinks that there was something wrong with themselves.
Yeah. That was clearly part of that idea is clearly part of the mix of this movie.
Exactly. But you can extend the metaphor to any such thing, anything that makes your child particularly weird and different from other children.
Other than what you expected.
100%. The movie is her trying to overcome this while also trying to figure out what her child is, while facing a ton of like criticism, gaslighting, and just unhelpful advice from all the people around her.
Yeah, her family, the professionals, and of course, the clergy, completely and utterly unhelpful.
And everything that's going on with her is super weird, in particular for us, the audience, because we know that something is not right with the baby. The baby must not entirely be human.
Yeah.
But everything that's going on could be simply brushed off as like normal pregnancy woes to everybody else.
If you didn't know that the supernatural was at play.
Exactly. Oh, you're just going through postpartum depression. Oh, you just need to, warm the bottle up so that the baby will eat it. Like stuff like that. Simple things.
Yeah, simple things. And of course, like she doesn't reveal some of the other weird shit that's going on. Which is also part of the metaphor, which is like, well, no, you should probably actually tell people. But what the movie's also saying is, but those people probably aren't going to listen anyway.
Yeah, they're not going to listen. They're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
They're going to dismiss you. Like the husband constantly does like this father knows best thing.
Yeah.
Now he presents it in a more calm, collected way of like, well, let me help you with this or whatever.
It doesn't seem unreasonable at first.
But it's a lot of overriding her wishes, overriding her decisions, overriding everything she does, and dismissing her feelings.
Yeah.
Dismissing her decisions, and dismissing her perspective at all times.
Yeah, and there's a turning point in the movie where
Saga.
Yeah, when Saga kind of starts to begin to understand the kid.
Yeah.
And that's when the dad gets really patronizing.
It's really interesting. For most of this movie, it feels like the kid is the antagonist of the story.
It does.
And I guess that's because that's what it feels like when you first become a mother.
When you first become a parent,
and are first encountering, like, having a child for the first time and dealing with the struggles of just a unpleasable little beast.
Unpleasable little beast in your home.
That you're trying to keep alive, but is doing everything in its power to kill itself, So I understand that part of the metaphor 100%, but by the end of the story, the real antagonist is the father.
Yeah.
And the child is actually not the problem.
Yeah, no. The problem is actually everything that is patronizing Saga, and that includes her husband.
And when we get to the spoiler section, we'll talk more about that part of the movie because that is where the spoilers live.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, the second half of the movie answers all the questions.
Absolutely. But if you caught our drift from calling this like a fantasy movie or a folk horror movie, you're probably piecing together some things about what's going on here, and you're most likely going to be close to being on the money.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with folk horror stories. Because we've done some other folk horror stories that had like some similar themes and whatnot, like Rabbit Trap.
Yeah.
No, that one comes to a completely different...
That one goes in a completely different direction.
Different direction than this one does. I actually do think this is overall a better movie than Rabbit Trap, but they're also different movies.
It's such a different beast.
They're trying to achieve different things.
Yeah.
And say different things.
Yeah, they're saying different things about parenthood, because one is all about the personal trauma which leads one to think that they are possibly an unfit parent.
Yeah.
That being Rabbit Trap. And this one is more about like postpartum depression, feeling like you can't connect with your infant child, the way the world treats you once you start if you start having these problems.
And you think other mothers would be more helpful, but they're actually some of the worst.
Yeah, they're not.
Because they have this whole time to get your lumps kind of thing going on. Like, we've been through this. It's easy once you get used to it. Dismissing how much harder it actually is for her in her circumstance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what she's dealing with is actually different than what they dealt with.
Yeah, she has a special needs child.
Except for maybe her mom, which we'll talk more about that in the spoiler section.
Well, that's a way more complicated relationship.
It is. Because her mom is in her life, but she's a very
emotionally distant woman.
Yes. And that's clearly a problem.
She is clearly the Finnish influence.
Yes.
We pay a lot of attention in the movie to the Brit influence that's fucking up. But the mom kind of represents those parts of Finnish culture that are also kind of failing her.
Interestingly enough, by contrast, the other grandparents on the other side of the family, John's parents do not seem as much of a problem. Comparatively, which I thought they were going to be, especially when one of them is introduced as a priest.
Yeah.
And he tries to do the baptism thing, which is not going to work out the way they want it to.
No, it's not going to.
But they actually seem like more caring and loving and reasonable parents. And John proves to be the problem in that scenario.
Yes.
More than them.
But they come with the baggage of Christendom, and that's a problem.
That is a problem.
It's
because
a big problem.
That's also part of the problem with John. You know? He comes with the baggage of Christendom. He also comes with the baggage of, for lack of a better way of putting it, the Enlightenment.
Yeah.
He does not see the supernatural that's happening in front of him.
It's clearly happening in front of him.
And keeps dismissing it and coming up with logical reasons for it. And he also refuses to test it.
Yeah, that was the part that really, really, really annoyed me. Which was good on the movie's part because you're supposed to be annoyed with it.
She'd be like, oh, so-and-so happens when so-and-so happens. And he wouldn't even bother to test to see what she's talking about. He would just dismiss it and be like, no, it's this, I know better. He never says I know better, but he acts like he knows better. At all times. And it reaches a boiling point, and we'll talk about that in the spoiler section. But overall, I really dug this movie. As a folk horror movie, it's fucking great. As a movie about motherhood, I actually think it's a very beautiful movie.
It is.
About motherhood. This is a movie ultimately about learning to love the child you create no matter what they are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was great because it could have so easily gone in a much darker direction.
100%.
And instead, this is one of those movies that, like, is this going to be a heartfelt, warm movie, or is this going to be a very cynical movie?
Yeah.
And you don't know which one's going to go for.
The entire time I was trying to figure out, because the movie up until the end could go either way.
Yeah.
Was it going to go the direction of learning to love your monster baby?
Yeah.
Or was it going to go in the direction of it's alive?
Yeah.
Where the monster baby must be destroyed.
Yeah.
Which way was it going to go? And it ultimately goes more in the other direction than the It's Alive direction. And we'll talk more about that in the spoiler section. This is a beautiful movie. I can't stress enough how well made it is, how good it is. I love the cinematography in this movie. I love the emphasis on the greens because of the forest. But even when they're inside the house, there's a lot of green and...
Well, yeah, because of
earth tones.
What the child is.
Yes, yes, 100%. 100%. So, my fellow Gorehounds, this movie is currently available on Shudder. That's how we watched it, though I do believe you can rent it on other platforms. Feel free to do so. Pick your poison and enjoy. Nightborn gets a 2 thumbs up from me. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let's move on to the spoilers.
Okay, so it's Finland. He was conceived in the woods. Yep. He's a troll.
Yes.
He's a troll.
Not a fairy, a troll.
Not a fairy, specifically a troll.
He's a troll baby. She gives birth to a troll baby, and there's even possibly an indication that she herself already has some troll
actually be
in
part
her.
Troll. Yeah.
Because when they talk about her childhood and her relationship to her grandmother and her grandmother's relationship to the trolls, you start to put 2 and 2 together and go like, oh, like you were different from even your sister.
Yeah.
So you're a troll. And you can see this as a metaphor for anything. Like this could be autistic parent and autistic baby.
Yes. Yeah,
100% if you want to.
Exactly.
But you can gay parent, gay baby. Like you can see this in any direction you want.
The metaphor.
100%. But I love it because ultimately she learns to stop fighting the child's nature and starts embracing the child's nature, but in turn discovers her own nature.
Yeah.
Which is literally nature because they're forest trolls.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you see some of the forest trolls later in the movie, they're basically tree people. They're tree ants.
We don't see it a lot, but I really love the way the trolls make their presence now.
100%.
It's really well done.
And I love all the build up to it too, like when they go into the forest for the first time. And you start to notice that the deeper in the forest they get, the weirder the trees look.
Yes.
Like they start to look weirdly humanoid.
Yep.
There's one like stump that almost looks like a tree is crawling away from it like a person.
Yep.
There's a stump that looks like a fucking like belly button.
Yeah. They fuck under a tree that's got a womb on it.
Yep, absolutely. They fuck under a tree. And in that moment, she gets very feral.
Yeah.
In a way that is probably our first indication that she has some sort of connection to this forest.
Yeah.
Because it's like re-entering the forest awakens something in her. Mm-hmm. And in turn, it's what leads to her giving birth to this child that is of the forest.
Yep.
And is of her, too. It is both her and the forest. It is.
Yeah. And one of the other things that happens is the farther away she gets from the child, the more she starts to turn into a tree, which at first she thinks it's like the child's doing it. Mm-hmm. But the reality is the reason she's turning into a tree is because she's one of them.
Yeah, she is one of them.
She's one of them.
100%. Over the course of this movie, you get more and more indications about like the weirdness of the baby. Like, first off, the baby doesn't want to drink milk.
No.
When it bites her nipple, it's drinking the blood from the nipple.
Yeah, it's trying to get blood.
It does not want the milk at all. It wants the blood. She even tries to create like a little formula of blood and like milk mix. And I'm pretty sure it would have just wanted the fucking blood.
Yeah.
That was her kind of lying to herself.
She eventually figures out the blood thing and buys cow's blood, which you can do.
And eventually she realizes she could just give the thing raw meat.
Raw meat, which is even easier.
And it'll be perfectly happy eating the raw meat.
Yeah, she starts growling at it as a way to communicate, which is adorable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. First, she tries to raise it like you would a human baby.
Yeah.
And follow all the instructions in all those baby books or whatever. And it's not until she starts embracing her inner troll.
Yeah.
and speaking to it with its language, getting down on all fours, facing it face to face.
Yeah.
That she and it connect. And you get that beautiful fucking scene where they're inside that little mound.
Yeah.
Well, they're playing.
Right.
They're playing, and then after they're playing, they're in that like mound of dirt, just sleeping together.
Yeah.
And she's like got the baby in front of her, and for the first time, they look like mother and child.
Yes, exactly.
And not adversaries.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful fucking arc.
It's the turning point of the movie, you know? Up until the end, you don't get a good look at the child. Although everyone says how weird the kid looks.
Yep. Everyone keeps commenting on that, and the only thing we see is that it's hairy.
Yeah.
Though over the course of the movie, it actually becomes less hairy, which is interesting.
Yeah. It becomes less hairy, and by the end of it, it's just a normal baby.
Yeah.
In the last shots.
Its face is always in darkness. We hear it growl. We see like the baby actor crawling around and doing stuff, but we always see it from behind or its face is silhouetted.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the movie, when she and it return to the forest, the baby turns around and looks at her, and we get to see the baby's face for the first time. Up until that point, she keeps insisting that the baby doesn't smile, it's just grimacing.
Yeah.
And in that moment, the baby just straight up smiles at her. It's a great moment.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this happens after after the baby summoned a tree to kill the dad that was trying to fucking take the baby away from mom.
Yeah.
Rupert Grint in this movie, his character John, is just the most oblivious father in the goddamn planet.
Yeah.
And the most in denial person ever. Because like the baby will have things like being exposed to the sun will cause his skin to literally like not sunburn, like peel. Peel off, like third-degree burns. And he just dismisses that as just being a little sensitive to the sun. And you're like, that's not a little sensitive.
Yeah.
That is, you need to take him to a specialist because he's got a real condition if you're going to go the science route.
Right,
But he doesn't even do that. No. He keeps dismissing it as something just a little sensitive.
Yeah. And then when the baby touches the cold iron.
Yes.
You know?
And like burns and then he blames the dad.
Blames his dad because his dad brought over this, it's a cold iron stick.
Yeah. And he had started a fire, so he thought that the dad's left it in the fire and the baby had touched it. But that's not true. It was cold.
Yeah.
It burns because iron hurts the trolls. That is something that's established over the course of the movie, especially when she starts learning more about her grandmother and why she kept all these iron objects surrounding the property.
Yes.
To keep the trolls out.
Yep.
But there's a point in which this starts to become abusive to the baby. John insists on trying to civilize this child.
Yeah.
And one of the ways he decides to do that is by making the baby sit at the table and feeding it with a spoon.
Yeah.
But the metal in the spoon hurts the baby. So he keeps knocking it away. This leads to a screaming match between him and the mom, Saga, and they end up having a whole drawn-out fight over this that culminates in the baby summoning the trees.
A tree that kills him.
Yep. Which we see the baby summoning the trees earlier in the movie when it summons like a little tree through the floorboard. Like a little piece of a tree.
Yeah.
And at the end, like we see what happens when it has more power.
Yeah.
Presumably because it's older, but also because it is actually connected with its mother and it is gained full access.
And the trolls of the forest are probably helping.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you gotta take him away. Oh, bullshit.
That's actually something I really love in this movie because she's being judged not just from everyone else in the movie, but the trolls themselves are judging her the entire movie, and you don't realize that's what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you reach the conclusion and realize what the journey was leading to.
Yeah.
Because there's these moments throughout the movie where the forest basically growls at her. There's this noise that comes out of the forest and they have no idea where it's coming from. And it pops up occasionally. But if you watch the movie, if you go back and rewatch the movie, it always happens when she does something that's bad for the baby.
Bad for the baby, yeah. Yeah. Nature's mad.
Yep.
It's pissed.
The forest is trying to tell her. And then the forest even tries to help her at certain points.
Yes.
Like when the baby's out in the sun and the forest blows the little flap.
Blows the flap over it so the sun doesn't hit it.
So it's in darkness inside the carriage and the baby stops crying.
Yep.
And she even pieces together that's what happens. But,
but she doesn't get it entirely until the end.
No, because she's still on that journey, right?
Yeah.
At that point, she was still worried about being judged by all the other parents parents at the party they were holding, because they were judging her.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
100%.
It was almost as painful as watching the same scene that was happening in the Babadook, which is why I compared the two a little bit.
100%, because much like the Babadook, a lot of this movie is her and the child at odds.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, they have to come to terms.
They have to come to terms, Whereas at this one, it comes to terms much more pleasantly.
I will say this, if you had a hard time with the beginning of the Babadook, this might be a little bit easier because it's a little bit more justifiable how hard this baby is to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
baby is clearly not human.
Yeah. It's not just being difficult. It's not just being a difficult kid. It's actually not entirely human.
100%. And it's embracing the inhumanity.
Yeah, embracing the inhuman nature of it.
Which in and of itself actually makes the baby more human.
Yep.
By embracing its nature. I love this movie.
It's beautiful.
I love this movie so much. It all comes together in such a beautiful way. I cannot recommend it enough. Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, no. The thumbs up.
100% thumbs up. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on various social media platforms, but these days, I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag #FeedTheTroll. This is the one instance where you should absolutely feed the troll.
Yep.
Work that into your comment below. That way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows, that you know how beautiful it is to bring a flesh-eating troll into the world.
Yeah, troll baby.
Troll baby. It's beautiful. You gotta love it. Peace out.